friends.
Welcome back to Humpdays.
Woo-hoo, we're the Rosellis, and today we are going to dive into the Billboard Top 25 Artists of the 21st Century, because we're kind of confused.
Yeah, I think they're trying to pit Taylor against Beyonce again.
Yes, those two have had a fight for the top. And this list was not necessarily... Like, it took everything into account. It took into account, vocals, actual musical talent, musical ability, music videos, performances, ticket sales, number one spots. But it wasn't necessarily like a strict calculation. Yeah. It was, they were kind of open about the fact that this was sort of a biased piece.
They didn't want to piss Beyonce off.
Yeah. Taylor Swift.
Yeah. 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2. Obviously, I was a little bit surprised by Beyonce. She's obviously a super great talent, but I'm not like, I don't know. I can't even think of what the hit would be that like really defines her,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe Crazy in Love.
Crazy in Love, that's with Jay-Z.
That's the big one.
That's with Jay-Z. That was like, she looked really hot in that. That was her dancing.
Yeah.
Jay-Z comes in. That was like their send-off to their big love story, their big collab. That's when Jay-Z, we talked about this before, Jay-Z wasn't really that big of an artist until he met Beyonce, and then became A-listers.
Yeah.
And I think with that one as well is just there's something afoot. There's something afoot in Hollywood.
Seems suspicious.
Very suspicious. Whereas like no one wants to piss off Beyonce or Jay-Z, and they work very close with Diddy. They work very close, very best. They were besties.
Yeah.
But like all these artists, like when they're winning awards, they're just thanking Beyonce.
Yeah.
And it's just very weird because like Beyonce doesn't write music.
Yeah. Adele thanked Beyonce. Like
all these
winners, so it is a little bit odd.
Yeah, and then MIA, an artist recently came out saying that like, what's with all these...
yeah, that was big controversy with MIA.
Yeah. Well, put it up. She accused her, was like, hey, Jay-Z told me to get a nose job. They're like trying to get me to do these satanic rituals, saying it's going to make me famous. And she's like, no, I'm not doing that. And I'm going to start coming out against you guys. And
look how quickly her fire went out.
Yeah. And then she called out Adele. She's like, why are you thanking Beyonce? I'm the one that got you your manager.
I met Jay-Z and I signed to Rock Nation. The first thing he told me to do is get plastic surgery. I'm not insecure because I would have got plastic surgery. People make it, they all can turn around and thank Beyonce because that's, and even Adele, because she's retired now, but her career would not exist if I hadn't made Jonathan Dickens into a manager. And bitch, when she gets an award, she thanks Beyonce.
Where's my thank you? Where are my flowers?
And then even JoJo Siwa was bringing up the...
Oh my God, that was hilarious. She was at something and she's like, I like to thank Beyonce so I can keep the dance community safe.
I also have to say thank you to Beyonce, just so that way we keep the dance community safe.
So something's afoot.
Yeah.
I mean, people are also scared to piss off Taylor Swift, obviously.
Well, people genuinely love, like, Taylor Swift is the soundtrack to a lot of people's summers. Like her tour, her Eras tour is like, I doubt it'll end.
Yeah. I know. I think it's gonna be like the Eras Tour 2.0 that gets revived. Like, how can they let that go?
Yeah.
Apparently it ended in Vancouver, ended in Canada, our home.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a lot of Canadians on this list.
But with like Taylor Swift, like that is like the soundtrack. Everyone that's about to go brags about getting tickets to the show. Months ahead of time, I got tickets to the show. I'm so excited.
It outsold Beyonce by like an insane amount. Like, wasn't it billions? $1 billion?
$5 billion. But like Beyonce couldn't do 2 shows in one city.
She had to cancel them.
Yeah. Beyonce had to cancel tour dates, but also
Taylor couldn't sell and she probably had to cut off sales.
Yeah. She does cities. She does multiple dates in cities. So it's just she'll do 2 shows in a city and sell out like 70,000 arenas.
Yeah.
Or stadiums.
If Taylor was able to perform for like 6 nights in a row, she could sell them at $400 a pop and just keep going.
And the record sales, like, if you're comparing record sales, Taylor Swift, not only does all of her records go number 1, but her Taylor version of all of her records go number 1. So it's like the same album keeps going number 1.
Yeah.
So it's like twice-fold.
Like Swifties, if you're in on this video right now, please let us know the reasons why Taylor Swift deserves this number 1 spot. If we leave anything out.
Yeah, well, they're called the Swifties, and then I guess the Beehive, but it's just I don't. Yeah,
the
like the Swiftie versus the Beehive.
Yeah,
who you
true.
got on that? But it's
Yeah.
like I would say Taylor's made a complete album where people listen to beginning to end, whereas like Beyonce just has hits. She'll just have a hit on this album and there. And I think there's like Beyonce just had a birthday and she just had a celebration where she had all the stars show up. But I feel like Beyonce doesn't really have any friends. She just has like celebrities that are like she just pals around with.
Or owed to her for some suspicious reason.
Yeah, ode to her. Like she had her birthday, so Destiny Child, both members had to show up, pay their respects.
I guess actually that makes me think Beyonce does have a Super Bowl performance.
Yeah, she has
and
a
that
Super Bowl
was
performance.
an incredible Super
That
Bowl
was.
performance. We have to give her that. And I would say also music video wise, Beyonce has been much more creative and executed much better music videos than Taylor Swift. She's a better dancer, hands down.
Well, she's hotter too, and like she can be seen through the male gaze. Like she can be sexualized. Where Taylor Swift, like she doesn't she can't really be sexualized. She's she's not that she's not pretty, but she's pretty in the sense that like if you saw her, you'd be like, oh, that's a pretty girl that's probably really good at her academics.
Yeah, Beyonce, at least I feel like, I think just there's no scientific calculation to this, but I think she's captured the gay community as well compared to Taylor Swift.
The choreography. So yeah, because
and just like the
yeah.
you don't really have that like attitude from Taylor Swift. So Taylor Swift has like it's just from sheer just impact in terms of bringing back the live performances, like selling to arenas and just like #1 charting hits and even just prolificness. It's Taylor Swift. She's also written most of her music, right?
Yeah.
So you got to give her that. Taylor Swift does not have the vocals though that Beyonce has. We do have to give Beyonce that. And the
of course
dancing.
that. It's just she was recognized at a very young age, like with her father. But it's just that's why I think like bringing that up. Whereas she's a great vocalist, but I think she's a bit of a hypocrite with what she sings about. Where she's like independent woman. All my ladies who are independent. Well, it turns out she hasn't really been that independent. Like her dad and her mom have controlled her at a very young age. And then when she became an adult, well, she kind of got groomed by Jay-Z.
Yeah.
And now Jay-Z is in control of her.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, you're not really that independent.
Yeah.
And
I think her #1 spot has a lot to do with Jay-Z. I think Jay-Z has finally admitted to himself that there's just no way he's going to chart.
No.
So he now is,
Well, and that's what he did.
That's what he did with Beyonce.
With his tour, that tour that they went on, it's like he made it his tour. He closed the show. And it's like no one was there to see you, Jay-Z. Like it was no one was there. That's the funny thing. So I went to go see that concert with, our friend James, my friend James. Because his girlfriend, his girlfriend broke up. Yeah, we went to go, before we even met, we went to go see the Beyonce concert. So we know
different areas.
Different areas.
Yeah.
But me and my friend James went, and it was like clearly like a Beyonce, like it was, the Beehive
Beyonce
was out.
pulled everyone.
Everyone there. There's no dudes going to see Jay-Z.
No.
And I remember like there was a group of girls like in a row in front of us, and they're like trying to take selfies in front of the stage.
Yeah.
And then I'm with my friend James, and I'm like, would you girls like me to take a photo? And they're like, yeah, we love it. So I like start taking photos of them and like getting like all the angles right. And I like hand it to them, and they're like, oh, these are amazing. And they look at us and like, oh, by the way, you two are really cute together. So
like, there's no way two straight dudes are here for
two
Jay-Z.
straight guys are going to be here for this Beyonce concert.
And meanwhile, Jay-Z's like, I'm here too.
Yeah, Jay-Z's like, this is my concert. I'm going to close the show with one of my songs.
Every time he went on, we were like, bathroom break.
Yeah, girls are going
he
to the
wasn't
bathroom.
good. Hey, I feel like they tried to push on us this whole like Bonnie and Clyde. Remember when they were like Bonnie and Clyde, and they're like, we're badass.
Yeah, like no one expected us to be this big.
And then they both were like doing Drunken Love, like on the stage. They were like wet. Remember
Yeah,
that? And then they're
yeah.
like, Ivy was in the audience, and they were just like trying to be sexy, and we were just like, nobody wants this.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Like I even feel weird about like us being like a married couple and like at all being sexual, because people just hate it. Like people just hate like when you just put a couple and just like try to do sexy stuff on stage. I don't know what it is. Like it's fine if it's like two artists that aren't, but it's just weird when it's like they're like, we're hot mom and dad. Like I don't know why. It's just so it just anyway. Theirs did not work. Theirs did not work.
It did not work because there's a huge age gap and he's not very attractive. So it's just like this really like there's no like je ne sais quoi there either. It's just like he's this really unattractive dude, and he's kissing this beautiful woman, and they have kids together. Giant age gap. He's trying to steal the spotlight from her.
He groomed her. At 16.
Groomed her at 16. Maybe he knew her before that, but they started getting close like that way.
Coming in at number 3. Or sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say like, and Jay-Z's also. I think Jay-Z's also a bit of a hypocrite. I think he's got like, because he like when he came out, he always brag about like how Jay-Z was always bragging about how like I sold drugs on the streets, and then now it just came out that his luxury weed brand just went bankrupt because he was selling joints for $50. It's like, I'm supposed to believe that you're slanging rocks on the streets of New York when it's just like, you don't even know how to sell weed, bro. Like, you don't even know how to sell weed. And I'm supposed to believe that you slang rocks.
Even now that it's legal.
It's just like, it's just like, like, come on. Like,
it's just phony.
Yeah, and even Lemonade, like, it's just like he cheated on you and now you're staying with him. And it's just like this fabricated thing where I feel like you're just trying to make money off of like his infidelity, which you knew it was there, but like,
it was his idea.
It was his idea. It was his idea to do that. Yeah. This makes me kind of look good, and it's just like It's just it's just
like,
gross.
look, Beyonce, we're gonna actually make you look even stronger on the other end as more of like an independent woman by staying with me, and I'm gonna make it all go away. I'm gonna make it all go away. Don't worry, babe. Like, no, and it's just like, that was, and as visually stunning as that album was, it didn't feel real at all when you look back. Like, it just didn't. No. It felt like a cover up to just like be like, actually, we're good. Like, no, it did. It wasn't.
Yeah. And it's just like they don't. Yeah, it's very icky that couple, and I'm really one day there's gonna be a tell-all, and because they are very close with Diddy. Yeah, they are very close with them. Like,
and everyone's thanking them. Solange is like, she was silenced. She fought him in an elevator for a reason. We don't know why.
Yeah, and the dad, Beyonce's dad, like doesn't talk to them anymore. Like he says he hates Jay-Z, really? And like he's just been cut off from their lives.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. No, there's gonna be a tell-all. There's gonna be a reason that she got the number 1 spot. I mean, we can't deny that she has talent.
No, she has talent, but I think all these guys are taking advantage of it.
Yes. And just like, oh, look, you like smash a car because I cheated on you, and everyone's gonna be like, oh yeah, like you just smash a car and you kind of write an album and then you're over it. Yeah. Like that's what like we're gonna make this happen. No, it feels very
that's exactly
it feels very like that. Yeah,
that was the team.
Speaking of groomed celebrities that were kind of put into the limelight super young, Rihanna came in at number 3.
Yeah,
that is. I have nothing but good things to say about Rihanna.
God love Riri.
God love her. She's, they this wouldn't come into play, but she just happens to be a billionaire from her Fenty beauty line, but she's never missed. You didn't like her performance at the Super Bowl, but I thought it was like perfect. I was like, that was so great. I don't know. It's so much fun to me. I mean, she was pregnant. She's flying around. The stage was so unique. The costumes and the dances were like so fun. Done by the royal family. Like, that was great. She's had so many hits. She's been so consistent.
She's very consistent.
Every new version of her hits. Yeah. Like, she can pull off any look. She's like one of those artists that successfully built a world. I feel like Taylor Swift, she always tries to build a new world, but not every single one has like been a total hit to me. Like her Lover era kind of flopped. I mean, for Taylor Swift, any other artist would dream of that kind of ranking. But like every era that Rihanna has tried, she's looked great. And her last album, she's ended it on a high note, which I don't know when we're going to see new music from her. But that Anti album still hits to this day, timeless, incredible. Anything you want to say about Rihanna?
I think she was also groomed by Jay-Z.
Yeah. She was.
There are 2 ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
She was. That's why she's
not
allowed. She
was like 14 or something.
She's not allowed to talk to Jay-Z anymore. It's just like that's like a rule that's a hard line. She doesn't talk to him anymore. She doesn't really say much about him. Yeah. It was just like he helped bring her up. So it's just like you'd think that she'd be thanking Beyonce and Jay-Z, and she doesn't. She's one of the very few celebrities that doesn't, and should be.
Seems kind of tough. Like she seems like a toughie, and it seems like she's just kind of like come in and out. She's not someone that you see a lot of like interviews of. Same with Beyonce, kind of suspicious that you just don't get interviews from them, you know?
Yeah, you don't get interviews from them. And I think she was tough enough to like stop it before it started.
Yeah.
Because it does seem like she is able to break away from things.
And do her own thing a little bit.
Do her own thing. She had that tough spot with Chris Brown, but she was able to leave it. Mm-hmm. And then now she's happy. Mm-hmm. And she just makes bangers after bangers. Like, it's just, like I didn't dislike her Super Bowl. It was the fact that it came off of the LA one, where it's just like you had Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, and it was just like this big spectacle, this giant performance from all these artists, and like it didn't wow me, but it did, like, it is like, oh wow, this girl has like a lot of bangers. So it's just like, that was cool. And she did it pregnant too, so it's just like, don't say I didn't like it. Now I look bad.
We were like, whatever. I was dancing the whole time.
I was actually impressed. Yeah. I was actually impressed that she did it pregnant. I didn't dislike it because of it. It was like, that was actually, she probably agreed to it months ahead of time, and then she was pregnant and still crushed it. And she was in the air the whole time too, so it was like, that's dangerous.
Yeah, that was kind of like how Kanye had that cool movable platform, like just like a unique stage, very of our time with, all the flying cameras through everything. Rihanna has been consistent. I don't think any of her albums are bad. She's always had a hit or two off of them. She's really, really prolific. Pretty great vocalist. Mm-hmm. I don't know if she's writing her music. That's the only thing. Well,
she's had producers for a whole while. She probably has ideas, and like, she's probably fun to work with as a producer because she's so versatile. Like, she can do like reggaeton or like straight hip hop or like you just have fun.
She's been the guest on a few things. She's worked with Kanye a few times too on that
and
album,
Eminem,
which is interesting. Yeah, and Eminem. Super respectable artists.
What do we have next?
Drake, our boy. He could have the number one spot in terms of hits.
Yeah.
And in terms of prolificness, he's everywhere. It's kind of crazy. Like when we moved in Canada, I don't know if you guys know, but in Canada, there's this law that like radio stations have to play 30% Canadian music so that like musicians in Canada have a chance, basically. Yeah. And so you always just hear Drake and Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber, Nickelback.
And Call Me Maybe 100 times. Yeah. 100 times a week. So, so we're, you were just like, it's just Drake. Toronto is like his city. He's the sixth god. Toronto's the sixth, all of that.
Always at Toronto
always at
Raptors
the games. Like, it's just always playing. But then when we moved here to Austin, we were like,
same amount.
It's the same amount. It's like literally playing in every nail salon on the radio at all times. So we're like, okay.
And
like,
when we went to Italy, it was playing.
When we went to Italy, there was freaking. We were thinking we were in this old town in Florence, and they're playing the violin, and then they're like, no. You used to call me on my cell phone.
Yeah. And then at the club, obviously at the clubs multiple times. Like, it's not just like one Drake song every hour. It's just like 30% everywhere. It's like he has the Canadian rule wherever you go. It has to be 30% Drake at all times.
30% Drake
It's
everywhere.
a global rule. It's just like wherever you are, 30% Drake is being played.
Everybody who's hot in Toronto has been to his amazing pad. So there's some controversy around him.
Well, yeah.
He's a baller.
Yeah, he's a baller, and like everyone, he's like there's been these tweets like because he has this beef with Kendrick Lamar, and a lot of people took Kendrick, but it's just like the guy has been the soundtrack to like the last 15 summers. Like he's had a banger every summer. Yeah. He's like, you're dancing in the clubs, you're dancing at the beach, you're hearing a Drake song. Yeah. Everyone's just in a better mood. Yeah. You might not even know it's Drake if you're not like a fan of it, but it's just like you can just see the mood change when a Drake song comes on. Where there's a lot of people dancing,
and he's changed the vibe. Like it's not always the same. I mean, I guess his voice is kind of the same. The only thing that I'd say Drake has kind of messed with is music videos. Like I'm trying to even think.
The funniest one, well, because Drake always like wants to let you know that he gets laid. Like he's just like Drake is a guy where it's just like every one of his songs is just like, yo, like I like to get laid. It's like I don't know if he's overcompensating because he's been friend zoned a lot by famous girls. Yeah. Like he's been friend zoned by Rihanna. I think was it Cardi B or was it what's the other one?
J-Lo?
No, Cardi B. Was it Cardi B that friend zoned him?
I think so.
Or is it Nicki Minaj?
Nicki.
Okay. So he's friend zoned by Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, like all famous people friend zone him.
Yeah.
And it's just like all of his songs are about how he likes to have sex, where it's like, I love bad bitches, that's my fucking problem. It's just those are songs. And that one music video where it's just like, it's like The Bachelor, but they're lining up for roses to sleep in his bed.
Yes. It's just a bunch of hot girls lining up to come talk to him and he gets to pick them. Yeah, that's true.
It's just a hot girls, yo, I get laid. It's just like, that's my thing.
But something is wrong, you're right, because like I feel like he's just never been able to get over Rihanna.
Yeah.
Like that just like did something.
That's the one that got away.
Yeah, that's the one that got away.
That's the one that got away. And he's just like, I will never let a celebrity girl get in my head like that.
Yeah.
So
he went to J-Lo.
He went to J-Lo, yeah.
He's like, that's gonna be easy to let go of.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. That's kind of hard to believe that him and J-Lo had a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? He's just checking things off.
Just checking things
point.
off. Well, why not? Just, we'll try it out. Why not? Why wouldn't you?
I kind of respect that he's still entertained by like just sleeping with hot women. Like, it's got to get boring after a while, but I think he's still kind of down with it.
Yeah.
He hasn't gone to the Diddy parties, has he?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he's been in them. I think he can throw his own parties. I think he likes, I think it would have come out if he did, but I don't think he's part of that crew.
Yeah.
I think he has his own things. He does have rap beefs though, which is like the Kendrick Lamar one was probably one of the better ones. Yeah. But I love how like, because they just came out where it's like he's suing the record label for falsely pushing Kendrick Lamar's diss tracks. Oh. So that's about to go to court and everyone's like making fun of him for it. They go, why are you doing that? That seems like something Kendrick Lamar would make fun of you for doing in one of Kendrick Lamar's diss tracks.
Yeah.
But it just reminds me of what like Kanye said about it reminds me of what Kanye reminds me of what Kanye said what Kanye said about Drake, where he's like, yo, this guy just doesn't do diss tracks about you. This guy is all about psychological games. Like he'll DM every girl on your Rolodex, every girl you've been interested in, every girl that you think about being interested in. He'll just get in there. Like he'll move in next door to them. Like he's psychological. Like he'll get you.
Oh my God.
So for him to go after this record label thing where it's just like, yo, this is like if he's right that like the white man is pushing you when you make music about how you're being oppressed by the white man and actually the white man is actually backing you up fully with all their money. Yeah. It's like that is going to make you look bad. Yeah. Oh so it's just like, that's why I think Drake just like he's one of those guys that you don't have anything on or else he would he's his own man. I think.
And it's funny we're at a point in society where we're like relieved that someone's just like sleeping with 19-year-olds at this point. Before that used to be like so bad or like, oh, you were caught sleeping with a dude. Now it's like, oh my God, you weren't a pedophile.
Oh,
like,
you had consensual sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
King.
Yeah, it's like, what a great guy.
Oh, he's a family man.
He's a family man.
That's like 2004's 24's family man.
He has kids with multiple women, but it was all consensual.
Sorry, I cut you off. What were you saying?
No, I just think like, with Drake, I think it's just going to keep growing because it's like, you can't keep this guy down. Like he started off as the crippled from Degrassi.
Like what a come up.
In the wheelchair.
That is a come up. Degrassi to this.
Degrassi to
it's not even like Disney to that. It's like Degrassi. It's like this small little Canadian, the only show people watch.
Yeah, and rap beefs. And you're seeing it unravel for like Kendrick right now because Kendrick is having like a beef with Andrew Schulz now.
No way.
Yeah, him and Andrew Schulz are going at it because Andrew Schulz had these two black guys on his podcast. And
what platform does he have left?
Who?
He has a podcast?
Andrew Schulz?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has Flagrant. Oh. And then he has the one that he does
Andrew Schulz.
Andrew Schulz.
I was thinking Andrew.
No.
Oh my God.
Andrew
okay,
Schulz.
for clarity, I don't even know why. Andrew Schulz is amazing.
Andrew Schulz is hilarious.
He's an incredible comedian.
Yeah, and now he's getting into a little beef with Kendrick, which is hilarious.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, because Andrew Schulz said, like, in a show, he was making a joke because, like, the black guys on the show are like, yeah, have you heard about like the girlfriend effect for white guys? It's like their hair gets nice and trimmed and short, and then they have beards. And he's like, yeah, it gets short because they're stressed off by like being told what to do. And they're like, no, what about the beards? Like, yeah, because those black girls be slapping them in the face. Like, just joking about how it's tough to date black girls. Like, it's like the attitude problem. That was a joke, and the black guys were laughing. And then Kendrick came out with a lyric of his song, just like, never let a white guy diss black girls in front of you. Oh. And then Andrew took that and just started dissing Kendrick lately. He said that,
I wouldn't peg Kendrick to be so sensitive to it.
Well, that's his thing now.
Comedian.
He's like telling people what to do now. He's like,
really?
Yeah, he's like,
well, that's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, he's like, you know, like, oh, this is how black people should act, type of thing. He's like the Bill Cosby now. He's turning into Bill Cosby. Pull up your pants, type of thing. Like,
really?
Yeah, well, Bill Cosby was like with that, and then so Schulz has been saying like, you know, like if I was, you know, your crew could beat me up, but you know, if we were in prison, I'd make love to you and there's nothing you could do. Like, it was just like saying I could take him, and he's like joking about that, like, I'd make love to you. And then he said that, called him a hypocrite, like, hey, you're making a series with the South Park creators, you're doing a show with the South Park creators, they just did a whole episode about Lizzo. Yeah. Are those comedians making fun of black girls?
Yeah.
You're a hypocrite.
They've made fun of a lot of them.
But it's like, it's an interesting thing now because like Kendrick is very fast with diss tracks, but there's nothing faster than a comedian with a mic. And he has 2 shows. Yeah. And he's dissing him on both shows.
Oh yeah. I'd be afraid of Schulz.
Yeah. So it's like, I think Schulz is gonna get, you heard it first, I think Schulz is doing this so he can get Drake on his show to get more views.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's how it's gonna work out.
Yeah. Well, I think it will work out. Next one on the list here is Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Obviously. I mean, great vocalist. She's writing all of her songs. You see her come up from, I mean, I know she had rich parents, but like she didn't have parents that were in the industry.
Yeah.
And she came out with this like completely weird whack. Like she was like the chaperone, you know, of the time. And I think I love the photo they chose for her, which is her bloody stage performance. I think stage performance, next level. And I think I would put her number 1 as music videos go, because those music videos are burned into my brain, like played 1,000 times. I played them for my friend's like younger sister who kind of missed out on the Lady Gaga time. And we like were educating her those music of like the best music videos of our time. You know how it goes when you're like at a party or things are dying down, you throw on music videos. Those are like, she was just like blown away. She's like, these are amazing. They still hold up today and still stand out today. And there's no one like Lady Gaga.
No, and she wrote a lot of songs for other artists, so she got her way that way.
Yeah.
And then she just eventually said, hey, no, I'm doing it for myself. So all the power to her. Yeah,
I wouldn't say every single version of her has hit.
No.
Like she's kind of like her Joanne, whatever, her like country time and all that. Like it's kind of gone like this, but like she made a big impact. And I think in terms of impact on pop music, that was big, you know? Like people always say she kind of copied Madonna.
You steal like all artists, like painters have stolen from other painters. It's just like you just emulate what you have and just put your own twist on it.
But I just don't think Madonna came out like covered in blood and stuff, you know? Did she?
Well, I mean, not so much satanic stuff, but she did religious stuff with like a prayer. So it's the religious thing is there.
Yeah.
So not so much satanic, but there's definitely religious undertones.
How do we feel about Gaga now? Do we think that she's involved in this?
Yeah, the Diddy stuff. Yeah. She's involved in something because she's doing a lot of political stuff, and she's obviously involved.
Yeah.
Tim Dillon's talking about how like she had to sacrifice one of her friends.
Yeah. There is a rumor that she had to kill one of her friends and throw her out of a window or something.
So something like that. So I think she is involved in something. She did. I remember that video she did with Joe Biden the first time he was running for president. It looked like a hostage video in a hotel.
Yeah.
So I was like standing next to him. I think so. I think but not to an extent where she's a player. I think she might have been a victim of something.
Yeah.
And I think that, but not too much. Like, I mean, I just love thinking about her just showing up in a meat costume, or in an egg. It's just like, that's what I love. And then now she did an album with Tony Bennett, which was great. I love that.
Yeah,
showing up her vocals. Yeah. And then now she's getting to this acting, and it's like, it sucked that the Joker sucked.
Actually, this came out the right time for her. We're just like gonna move over the Joker.
But it's just like she was great in that movie with Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
And she looks like
Star is Born.
A Star is Born, and she looked great in that. Like, she doesn't look like someone that's had too much plastic surgery. She's great for the camera, I think that she could have a really good music career, like kind of like what Courtney Love had when she did Man on the Moon. She got nominated and she was doing a lot of great acting stuff.
Yeah.
But then drugs kind of took over. But it's like what could have been, where it's just like I think she could have that chapter where it's just like she can pop in and out of
she
acting.
doesn't seem like she's really had like a horrible time, like a drug fueled.
No, not a drug fuel, or like really burned out from music. Because I
Yeah.
seem like she loves performing.
She's still fit. She's like been dancing like she always has.
She had a good Super Bowl performance. I'll never forget that scene where
Yeah,
she just jumps
that was
off the
good.
stage and you're like, where'd she go?
Yeah, she's just like, no, that was a lot of fun. And she's had
Yeah.
a lot of hits. I think that her, like now that I think of it, Telephone, like she probably helped Beyonce get that #1 spot just with Telephone
Yeah.
alone.
I think that
in
was for
music
Britney
video.
Spears, and Britney Spears turned it down.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She must regret that so much. That would have been iconic.
Yeah.
Britney Spears is next.
Brittany, what can you
Britney
say?
Spears is #6. What can you say? She's kept it going. Is she
Yeah.
alive? We don't know. Is she herself? We don't know. Has she been replaced? I don't know. It'd be Britney, if you are still alive and well, kudos to you. You deserve this spot. If you're hearing this, I hope you are. If you're replaced by a lookalike replica, sucks. But
Yeah, they're doing
you know.
a terrible job if that's a lookalike. Like that is, they're not, they're
It's
tarnishing
all
your
of the
image.
teeth. Apparently, there's a whole teeth. We've got to investigate into that a bit.
We'll do more
further.
investigation, but just like what she's done in the 21st century has been
What she has done
prolific.
for knife sales has been, yeah.
And I think she's the only celebrity that people are too scared to offer a makeup brand to.
yeah. She's kept the same look.
She's got the same look.
consistent.
We don't.
Every album has had a banger, though, right? She's had a couple
Yeah.
that have actually maybe one has flopped.
You know, I'm just gonna say,
All of them has
"Toxic"
one.
is better than any Beyonce or Taylor Swift song.
It's the best pop song in history.
It is.
It really is. Toxic's the best song.
Yeah.
Did that one come out in the 21st century?
Yeah,
though?
I think 2003 maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
So-
So then she definitely deserves her spot.
And she looked
'Cause you
hot in
think of her
that.
as
She
like
looked
a
hot in that.
90s.
That was like probably one of her hottest videos.
Yeah.
That and the
She's
Slave
still,
for You.
She still looks hot. Like, I know that's debatable because of how she's presenting herself, but it's just about getting her roots done, not having hair clipped into her head weird, just having someone do
Yeah.
her hair and makeup. She would look great.
Yeah, it's not her face. It's like she hasn't done the Lindsay Lohan where it's just
Yeah.
like you would look at her and be like, oh wow, you've been weathered by life.
Yeah.
It's like you look like you're on a bender.
Yeah.
Like it's like you're just in the middle of a bender type look, type of thing.
She still looks great.
She looks great. Love Britney.
She, had that Vegas residency. That's huge. Like I don't know. She's been basically, when you think of pop star, you think of Britney Spears. Like, I don't think that it would be that weird if she was even in the #1 spot.
No,
It's just that she's kind of fallen off now.
she's fallen off now,
But
and
in
the
terms
#1
of-
spot goes to someone that they want to keep in good favors with. It's just Britney Spears is.
There's nothing left to get from Britney
Yeah.
Spears. Like, there's nothing left. She's been sucked dry.
Yeah.
She's been completely sucked dry, unfortunately. And and that's a very sad case. Kanye West.
What's there
good.
to say about Kanye West?
He is a controversial figure. That's for sure.
Well, Kanye is just he built the Kardashian empire. Like
Yeah.
it was sparked by the
Right.
sex tape, but like it took it to the next level.
Yes.
Where it's just like Kim was a joke. She was just a reality TV star and
Paris's
just like
best friend. or
Paris's best
someone's
friend.
a
Everyone
friend.
made fun of how she dressed.
Yeah.
It was like she was not the
Butt
famous
joke.
butt
Porn
joke,
star.
porn star. Like, and it was
Silly reality family.
everyone made fun of her. Even Beyonce, when Jay-Z, because we talked about how Jay-Z always needs to tour someone famous in order to sell tickets.
Yeah.
Well, when he and Kanye were going on tour, Beyonce said, I don't want to hang out with her. They didn't want to hang out with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But now you can argue that
Now she's been invited to the Met Gala.
now she's been invited to the Met Gala. But also, you could also make the argument that Kim Kardashian is more of an independent woman than Beyonce. Because
Right.
Beyonce is controlled by all these men and like all
Yeah.
these producers, whereas like Kim Kardashian, she got her law degree.
Mm-hmm.
She picks and chooses the guys she wants to be with. Like
Kind of
she,
seems like she used Kanye.
yeah.
Like it's not the other way around.
Oh, that's a good point.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. Maybe he just couldn't control her as much. But then Kanye, obviously, with all the bangers he's had, all the successful tours, visually, he just he just knows. Like it's just like he is a creative genius.
Yeah.
Even with like what he did with Adidas is incredible because Adidas wasn't cool. Like it was just lame. It hadn't been cool in America. In Europe, it was cool. But you come to America, it's like it was always Nike. It was all Nike because of the Jordan brand.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't cool until it wasn't cool since like the 80s with like the Run DMC. Yeah. Where they all had that. That was like the last time.
It may have been on its way out.
It was on its way out. Yeah. It wasn't cool. Jordan only had 5% of Nike when they offered from that. Adidas, Kanye got 15%.
Wow.
So like, and then all the Yeezys just started selling off the shelves. Their fashion label just started just blowing up. And then obviously he said those anti-Semitic things. He went on Alex Jones
and then he happened to lose all of his money.
Yeah, like $1 billion. And Adidas was screwed because like that's 50% of their revenue comes from Kanye West. Yeah. So they didn't know what to do. Yeah. And then obviously they had to cancel ties with them and they lost almost $1 billion like overnight. Yeah. And then, but Kanye had a little bit of
and Kanye lost a lot of money and Kim actually had to bail him out.
But then what he did for the Super Bowl was incredible. So for the Super Bowl, what Kanye did was
he had a Super Bowl?
He had a Super Bowl ad.
Oh, ad.
He had an ad.
Oh.
So
I thought you meant like
Adidas dropped him, which was crazy.
Okay.
But then he had that backlash of like Adidas dropped him, all their endorsements got dropped. And not only that, but his bank accounts got frozen. Like the bank wouldn't do business with him anymore because he criticized the Jews. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. That's like...
We know why.
Like,
I mean, that's
crazy. It is. Yeah, no, that's a big surprise.
Shocking that he lost all of his money.
All that money once he criticized a certain group of people.
But he really, you can't... He was losing his mind. And there are rumors that he could have been drugged by Chris. There's all sorts of things, but like the guy
he said you can't control me like you can control Jay-Z.
He can't control himself, this guy.
You talked about Diddy and Jay-Z before that stuff came out. You can't control me like these guys. These guys have bodies hidden somewhere.
Yeah.
But then that Super Bowl ad that just came out was he spent $7 million on a Super Bowl ad. And then it was just him with his phone up to himself doing the ad and just said, I spent all my money on the ad space, so I don't have any money for the actual ad. So it's him talking to his phone and he says, yo, I'm going to sell these shoes on my website, $20. He spent $7 million on the ad and then the next day he makes $20 million just on the shoes. So it's like that. Amazing. So it's like he still has fans.
He's very innovative. Yeah. I mean, I saw him on the stage where it was like the movable stage, that performance. Like I luckily saw him right before his breakdown, like right before that got canceled and everything happened, and Kim got robbed in France and everything.
That all must be related, by the way. That's another conspiracy for another time.
It's got to be. And it's just. He has been an innovator. So like Taylor, for example, not an innovator. Okay. No. We just gave her all of her accolades earlier. So Swifties, don't come at us. She's not an innovator. Beyonce, a little bit more of an innovator because she has kind of blended pop and hip hop a bit, but like not necessarily an innovator. Kanye is the writer. He is making these beats, like he is, it's and it just really changed the game. So Kanye, big, number 7 doesn't surprise me. That seems about right.
Who's next?
Justin Bieber, another Canadian
woo, woo.
Woo, icon. Poor Justin though, man. Like crazy to think that this guy's number 8 and he owns none of his own music anymore. He sold it all literally like last year, like 2 years ago, to get Hailey Baldwin and her family of whoever the heck we know. There's a lot of bodies buried in that family. We know that, yeah. And
on Alex's side, literally one.
Yeah,
literally one because of Alec.
Alec. Yeah,
literally one. We know one body.
And it happened around that time. Like I mean,
but it wasn't Alec. It was the dad.
I know,
but like Alec is the one that's just crazy, and in those Diddy parties.
But I just feel like they're all like that's literally insane that he sold. There's no reason that Justin Bieber would need to sell his discography.
Yeah,
he could still be making money off it to this day. He's so young. That one's wild. But yeah, he's been through it. He's obviously, we feel bad for Justin, but he is like kind of the first, YouTuber to star Pipeline, one of the first examples of that. Really self-made.
Open for Taylor Swift.
Taken under Usher's wing. Everyone saw the talent. It's undeniable talent, incredible vocalist. Like, I know that people like think maybe his music's a little bit like basic or something like that. He hasn't been writing it necessarily. But I think I've really enjoyed that he has, in his later career, even though these haven't been like chart topping necessarily, he has collaborated with other really cool artists that he really respects, and I think that's cool. I think instead of just pumping out, I mean, he's nothing like Aaron Carter, let's say, or R.I.P., but like he wasn't just this like cute face that then like all this machine was working behind necessarily. He was definitely more than a cute face. He was like
he was a
visionary.
He was like a bit of a savant at a very young age.
Yes.
Like he knew the drums very well. He could sing. Like he was a musician at a very young age.
Savant.
And that's like what you can say about Taylor Swift. Like even though more than Beyonce, Taylor Swift has made some artists.
Yeah.
Like Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah.
There's beef there, but it's just like
she made her.
She made her.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber.
But Kanye made Taylor famous. No, I'm just kidding.
There's that rumor where it's like Kanye because Taylor just beat Beyonce, and you don't do that. So a lot of people are saying like there's a conspiracy that Kanye did that to save Taylor. Like, yo, just I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had the best album. Like, Taylor, don't worry, because Taylor wasn't gonna thank Beyonce.
Yeah.
And Beyonce was kind of pissed. Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah. So jumped in there to try to save Taylor.
There's that rumor.
Oh yeah. Well, that music video, that was for the music video award, and honestly, Kanye was correct in that case.
Yeah.
Beyonce's video, that actually, I earlier said that Beyonce did not have that great of music videos, but that one Single Ladies video, very good. Number 9.
Yeah.
Ariana Grande.
Well, she's wicked.
I think that she has been inconsistent, right?
Well, I don't think if it going by record sales or tours, I don't think she has been, but she's been in the public eye.
Yeah.
I think that's why she's on there, Ariana Grande, and then The Wicked just came out, so it's just like they're covering their bases.
Yeah.
She's just they like her. Billboard's coming out. They're obviously just picking the people they want to keep doing interviews with. So it's just like, oh, Ariana, you're number 9 of the 21st century. Come do an interview with us. How do you feel about that?
And just as she's now saying she doesn't want to do music anymore for a bit, she wants to focus on musical theater. But
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
And then number 10.
Last one. Adele.
Hello.
I think that makes sense. She is an incredible vocalist. She's writing her songs.
Yeah.
She had her Vegas residency. Nothing really stands out in terms of music videos, I would say. Although I'm sure they're good, but nothing really stands out there. It is weird that she thanked Beyonce.
Yeah, that's very weird. Why people are thanking Beyonce.
Yeah. But she's done a pretty good job of like laying low, not much drama around her. She's also, out of all the artists on the list so far, she's like multi-generational. Like I think she's reached, my parents were thrilled to spend, all their time and money going to her Vegas residency to see her, the chance to see her. And then you'll also see, a 15-year-old there. Like her music speaks to every audience. Like I think Gaga, sure, she does too, but I'm not like catching my parents singing along to, like they're singing to Adele, you know? So she kind of came in and made her own category, I would say.
Oh, definitely. And then like the fact that you don't have to look a certain way.
Yeah. Yeah. And although she did kind of conform now, but she still looks normal.
She conformed because it's like she
looks normal.
I mean, like you just want to be healthy. Once you reach a certain age, it's just like, okay, like I just want to be healthy. So it's like I don't think she went the Ozempic route. Like I think she just did the healthy route, and it's just teach their own. You want to look like how you want to look like.
Even if she went the Ozempic route, it's like if somebody's a multimillionaire, they start to just want to take care of themselves.
Take care of themselves.
I mean, it doesn't feel good to be big. Like
Yeah, especially if you're around celebrities. If you're around celebrities all the time and you're like the biggest one, it's just like, you know, it's like how many people, like imagine like going to a workout class and having to be the biggest one there. And it's just like, okay, well then I don't want, imagine that like times 1,000 where you're at these. That's true.
We've all experienced that anxiety feeling of like going to the gym and feeling like the biggest one there.
Yeah, so it's just imagine that's how she feels all the time with all these celebrities, and that's all they care about is their looks.
Yeah.
Like they just, you're in an industry where it's like everyone cares about their looks.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone's so phony and fake, and it's just like, okay, well, if I'm gonna live in LA now, I guess I gotta do as the Romans do.
Yeah. No, 100%. That's. I don't blame her. We've all been there. We've been on our ups and downs, weight loss wise, and it just doesn't make sense. Any on this list that stood out to you is like, no. Why are they on this list?
No. Let me see the list one more time.
For me, I was shocked by BTS,
the Korean pop group. You're shocked by BTS, the Korean pop group,
and One Direction, both of them. I was like, what?
Yeah, I just think Harry Styles before One Direction. I mean, that is just One Direction is just a British thing, and it's just like the Brits don't matter.
I mean, like I know they've had hits, but like in terms of like disruptive, innovative, anything like that, BTS same thing. I'm like,
from 1 to 10, you know their names. Like you might not know the songs, but you know the names of those artists.
Yeah.
And I think if you're going to be an artist of the 21st century, you have to know like the.
Everybody is a little shocked that Katy Perry got on, but not really. It's just that I feel like that's just how damaging her current album was. It's like her last 3 flops have been so damaging. Like if she just pulled a Rihanna and just stuck with like the best album being her last one, she would have been fine.
That's true.
But yeah, so we have to understand that it's taking into account all of the 20th century. And a lot of people are upset that Ed Sheeran got on because he's just kind of basic. Yeah. I mean, he's prolific. And we saw him in concert. He was good.
Yeah, he's good. Sells out.
But it was sort of random. And then everyone's really, really, really upset that Lana Del Rey didn't get on.
Yeah, Lana Del Rey is cool. But I think that's what I like about Lana Del Rey, though. It's just like she just does her own thing. Like, I'd rather not be her conform to Billboard. Because, like, that's why. Sure. Like, she probably has refused so many interviews with Billboard. Like, I don't know. Like, why? Yeah. You guys are irrelevant. That's just, you guys do one list a year that everyone talks about, and you're just going to hand it to Beyonce because you want to be in their good graces. And, like, that's the old medium. I'm not happy with the old medium. I go to the beat of my own drum, and she does. Yeah. So I'd rather her not. And Eminem's on there, too. Maybe he should have been higher. He's been consistently popular. Mm-hmm. I mean... and
innovative.
And innovative, like, popular, innovative. He's
probably one of the funniest rappers, like, in terms of adding a layer of humor to all of his... Like, a lot of the raps that got him famous.
But yeah, I think those are like pretty much it. Like
it makes sense though, this list.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the best ones. There's no rock group in it. I mean, if I was to put one rock group in it, I would pick Arcade Fire to be influential in the 21st century because they have that big band feel. So like you wouldn't have like Mumford and Sons if it wasn't for Arcade Fire, and they're pretty big. You wouldn't have the whole like the crowd sing-alongs. Like what's that band?
The thing is, it's band pop like the Lumineers. Though.
It's pop music.
Okay, yeah.
I'd say it's pop music. Like it says artists.
Pop artists, but
pop artists. But yeah, like if you had to put a band in there.
Yeah.
Coldplay's a pop artist, but thank God they're not on there.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that's true. Coldplay.
But I think their first 2 albums are good, but after that, I think they are corny. They're they're like U2, where it's just like I don't even know if your parents would listen to Coldplay now. It's just like, what do you even go for it for? I guess.
Yeah.
Just to like have your shiny little bracelet and sing Paradise.
Yeah.
Oh. No, lame.
Yeah. They kind of weren't the best in the Super Bowl either.
Oh, yeah. They had like Super Bowl 50, I think. So I was like, did they need Beyonce for that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like,
they brought in Beyonce because it just wasn't enough.
They're just like, yeah, you guys are not good.
I don't know what it is about them. They just don't quite, they didn't, it makes sense they're not on this list.
Yeah, you can only write so many love songs.
Yeah. Well, who do you think should have been on the list?
Who's your favorite?
Who were you like, why? And Beyonce or Taylor Swift, which one should have won? We don't know.
Thank you for watching.